last week you guys got back to Astrozalian. You spoke with Chandria. You asked that she refer to Vicaris in her report specifically, and his investment in the exact quest that you've been that you'd sworn to do for Chandria. She said that that would be fine. Um, Krellick wrestled her, got his ass handed to him. Um, let's see. And you got back to town. You you got things that have been purchased uh, from Zendros were given to you. I don't recall if anyone actually ended up purchasing any of the other. I don't think anyone bought. Oh,
I
the
bought the
alchemy jug.
alchemy jug.
Alchemy jug. Yep. Um, and then you all went for a long rest. Anything I'm missing that you guys want to make mention of?
Upgraded turtle shell.
Yeah. Big boat.
Micah and
Toby.
Toby, thank you, bought guns.
We only named 2 of the 3 geeses. We still need to name the 3rd one.
That is true. I have the names Ragefang and Duck. Anything happening that night or in preparation for the next day from anybody? No? Cool. All right. Dawn comes. Zashel wakes earlier than everybody else every day, and when he goes downstairs to go outside, in the commons of, I guess in your greeting room, there are 2 people who are standing or sitting at the bar. One of them has tracked mud and water across the floor to him, and he's sitting on one of the stools. Is a grizzled older man who has a graying beard and dark hair that's receding a little. He looks very weathered, and he is talking with the major, and they are speaking in kind of hushed tones and laughing with each other a little bit. And the major just nods to you, Zashel, as you enter, and says, "Morning. You sleep?"
Good morning, Major. Yes, thank you. Who is your guest, if I may ask? If that's not rude.
This is Guildmaster Tabith of Mariners Guildhall. He's been asking. He came actually with a request. He and I have just been catching up. Not specifically you and the rest of the business.
I'm sorry, you said Tevith?
Tabith. T-A-B-E-T-H. He waves a hand to you and gives you a little salty grin. He says, "Hey, there might be some work for it. If there's a room in your schedule."
I believe there will be. The final decision will, of course, be the decisionists. I assume that was Sean.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe our schedule is currently open. What sort of work are you envisioning?
There's an island that, as it happens, Major has some familiarity with. Skull Dunes, the island around, yes. And the major nods, and he continues and says, "It's a really good outpost, a good place for a lighthouse. And as we understand it, there was well, it used to be the island, or an abbey, actually, to some saints and followers of Khan. But there's been some rough weather and a lot of privateer activity. There's a good chance that the abbey is no longer standing, and there's also good real estate out there, and the rocks and shoals are particularly dangerous. It might be a good place to build and have place a rest sailors out that way. I just need someone out there sturdier and more apt for clearing such a location. Monsters, what have you.
I see. Sounds straightforward enough.
We're looking at 200 gold for reward. If it's properly vacated, cleaned, cleared. All the building and such, obviously, commission on our own time. But don't want to be sending out any surveyors if there's any chance that someone could get hurt on the way.
How large is this island?
What'd you say? He looks at the major, who says, "Hold on, I got it. Some 1,000 feet long ways, half as wide."
Feet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a paceable size.
Well, as I said, the final decision is... We can discuss this with the rest of Acquisitions Incorporated when they arrive. For this morning, I imagine this will be an agreeable decision to them. What sort of things, concerns do you have with what might be on that island? What sort of creatures do you imagine are there that need clearing?
We know for a fact it has its name. There's only one way to properly cross the island, and it's by entering the dunes and the sandy beach. And those are, should we say, infested with chatter and skeletons and such. Those at the very least have to go. We don't know if there's anything that might have survived the weather and beyond.
I'm sorry, you were cutting in and out real bad for me there.
Okay. He says
I got
that,
chattering skeletons. I missed everything after that.
Okay. Sandy Beach has skeletons. There's a possibility that something might be beyond there, but they can't get past the beach.
Got it. Okay.
We don't
Our
really know
usual-
if anyone survived. If the abbey even still stands, though it's unlikely. Been some bad storms.
Not that it really matters, but I'm curious, do you happen to know to whom the abbey is dedicated?
Likely the sea gods. As far as I've concerned myself, assume Procan, but his curse might have been on the island. Probably led to it being in the state it's in.
All right. Well, would you prefer to wait for the rest of the organization to arise, or should we contact you at the Mariners Guild Hall?
I could wait here a while.
Approximately how early is it right now?
It is dawn. It is very early.
All right, there goes the offer to wake up everyone, since I value my life.
Kralik would like to he would like to wake up as early as he can. And he bangs on Yumi's door to try to wake her up because it's time to train.
You hear a muffled thump before Yumi opens the door.
Yumi, are you dressed? Cause I gotta go run and dig something. Dig.
Sure. Give me a moment. And then you hear some rustling, and Yumi will step outside and join you.
Yumi, Kralik, before you leave,
Hello.
I don't want to bother Yop, but I believe that with the two of you, if you both agree to this particular work, you are both familiar with the Major. This is Guildmaster Tabith of the Mariners Guild. They wanted to procure our services to clear an island and try to ascertain the status of a particular abbey on said island, and the Zashel thinks for a minute and says, I have no idea what you call somebody who lives in an abbey. Monks, I suppose? Nuns?
The Major nods.
The residents therein. I believe the offer for payment was 250 gold. I'm sorry, is that total or is that per person?
It was 2,000.
2,000 gold total.
Well, I could use money, so I'll say yes. But also, ain't you like the job man? So you make the jobs, and then you just let me know what I do.
I make the contracts, but the decision is not mine alone. This
Do
is.
we have to go right now?
Zashel turns to look at Tabith and the Major.
I mean,
Tab-
you mean I got a thing that we gotta do for a few hours? What I do?
Oh,
you,
no.
I just need your help for a little bit.
No, not in the next 2 hours. The Major and the Guildmaster here understand that we have some business in Saltmarsh this morning before we do anything else. But presumably they would like the work to start sometime soon.
Tabith
And-
nods and then says, the sooner you get out there, the better. Simply because if you're out there and you're looking and you find anything valuable, you can keep it. If you get there, pirates have gotten to it first. There ain't going to be nothing for you to take home as reward for yourselves.
I will say, Krellick, that apparently the beach is crawling with undead, which has prevented the previous surveyors and proprietors, so there will certainly be plenty of challenges along the way. The reason I asked the two of you, Yumi as the decisionist, Krellick is on board, I am on board. If you are also on board, then that is simply a majority, and we do not have to wake up Yop, Vicaris, or Dasani. That will give us 4 out of 7 possible votes.
I mean, I do want to go into town and talk to Edda, but
Again, this
Yumi
is not
Connor.
to start immediately. This is
Well,
simply the next.
if that's the case, then by that time Yop should be awake and we should ask her opinion.
Zashel turns back to the matron, the guildmaster, and says, if you are welcome to wait, Yop should be up in 3 or 4 hours. Otherwise, we can deliver our answer to you at the Mariners Guild in Saltmarsh.
Yeah, I got. Oh, look, you whatever it is, you decide. Right, I gotta go. Yumi, I'll catch you out there.
Sure, let me just go make some breakfast first. Breakfast is very important in the morning before training. And she goes off into the kitchen.
Krellick will just bound his way out. I'm going to be going into my house, so I'm going to lose all service for a few minutes.
Okay.
You hear loud footfalls coming down the stairs as Yop, as Yop shows up. Oh my, a lot of activity this morning. Yeah.
You're up early.
There's a lot of echoes in this lighthouse. Who seemed to be our guest?
This is Guildmaster Tabith, Mariners Guild, and Zasha will run through the whole thing again. We are deciding if that is a contract we would like to take on. If so, I will get the paperwork drawn up.
Yes, it sounds quite interesting. You say, Abby to the Procon?
Hey, yes.
And there's skeletons on the island.
Yes.
Interesting indeed. Well, I look forward to getting out there and ascertaining the situation with my own eyes.
Alright. Sounds like there's makings of a deal here.
Give me just a moment, and I will have a contract drawn up, and I can print one out from my Documancer's case.
Okay. When it's
Have you ever seen the likes of this before? And Yop will show the guildmaster her trident.
he has a little cup of coffee in his hands that he's sipping from, and he nearly spits it. And says, yes, there's that would certainly be the mark of the Sea Master.
Seamaster?
And Procon, spirit of the waters, Tempest Lord.
Yes, Procon. I thought that sounded familiar, and we do have some experience with skeletons associated with this, so I wonder if the same sort of thing is going on out at the island.
He looks a little confused.
Please sign here, sir.
and he does.
Yumi, I will need your signature here. I will sign here as witness. And
Oh, Yumi is currently in the kitchen making breakfast.
I
She'll
will
come
wait
back
for-
out eventually with tray of like grilled fish, some rice, and vegetables for breakfast. puts a plate in front of everyone, signs it, and then takes them out for Krellick.
And that's signed, and we send that back to head office, and you have yourself a team. We will begin as soon as we are able. We have certain other tasks to take care of first, and Zashel will hold out his hand to shake.
He clasps your hand and says, "Fantastic. And again, the earlier out you are, the better for you. But in the meantime, this will be truly a colossal favor for the guild. If there's any material assistance you could use, ships, equipment, otherwise, we'll be sure to lend a hand as necessary."
Our current ocean-faring transportation is a keelboat, which has been upgraded slightly. Do you think that would be sufficient for getting to this island, or should we retain the services of a larger vessel?
He
I
scratches.
can show you the boat if that would be helpful.
By all means.
If you'll give me one moment. Major, may I have a brief word with you?
Of course.
Unrelated to this current endeavor.
Of course, sure. And he walks with you into the hall.
We had opportunity to be in Fort Burrell recently, and I believe we ran into someone that you are familiar with, a Miss Kiara Varag.
Yes.
Has agreed to serve as an intermediary between an individual whose interests I serve outside of my work here with Acquisitions Incorporated. So if there is ever any correspondence that you would like to pass to Miss Shadowbreaker, I am quite happy to, at no cost, deliver that. Just wanted you to know.
He takes a very deep breath and then lets it out slowly and just says, "I suppose I should think. But I do not necessary. Oh, come on, Mike. I do not believe that will be necessary."
I see. Well, the offer stands. Did I just lose my mic?
Nope.
Okay. Well, the offer stands. I'm sure the negotiations of my benefactor will be a long time in the making. So, if you change your mind, you know where I am.
Yes.
So, Guildmaster, this way, please. And I will show him to the torch while everyone is doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. And he hops down into it and begins inspecting the craft in general. You can see that there is not an insubstantial amount of wonder about its engines and some of the arcana mechanisms that operate most of the vessel. And then he goes below deck, and you hear him around, rummaging around down there, and then he comes back up and says, "Hey, it's about an 8-hour sail. This vessel should get you there fine, so long as the weather's half decent."
Excellent. Excellent. Then we will not need to avail ourselves of your guild services just yet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
And he climbs back. He climbs back up, and then says, "Well, have any more questions? Or else I'll be heading out."
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I believe you've clarified the question of salvage. If I can think of anything, we will be in town later today. We will stop by if we think of something.
He nods. And then goes to his own vessel. And it's just a small, teeny tiny little sailboat. And he leaves. All right, folks. What else do you want to be doing today?
Is there didn't we like the improvements that we want to make to the lighthouse, are they all finished? Are they still are there parts that are under construction still?
No, you guys have been away long enough that the things that you asked for have been done.
Yeah.
Which includes, creating a hallway system in the lighthouse, setting up all the rooms properly, the separate building structure, and the defensive geese.
Yeah. Is there anything that we were doing or thought about doing to like the grounds at all?
I believe that all was going to be terraformed by Yumi and Dasani, I think.
Yeah, we're just gonna plant stuff in the grounds unless there's something specific you wanted to do.
Keep in mind, the grounds is fairly limited.
Yeah, it's pretty limited. Yeah. I had in my mind, the reason I said digging, it was like I thought we were like gonna do there was wild ideas for like moats or whatnot. I think just like dumb shit. So like I was gonna start for part of my training was like using my claws to dig. Right, it's very physical. But if there's no space to dig because we're still on a tiny lighthouse island, then that's probably not a good idea,
I mean, you still can dig because there is land to dig, and like the gardens still would need to be tilled and such. Like I'm sure that because of the care that Yumi needs to put into her garden so that the island isn't completely swallowed, even if you're just weeding, that's still like labor, just not as intensive as digging yourself a moat.
Could I dig like the trenches for new plantings, right? Normally
Yes.
they nowadays you use a big machine for that, but that'll be pretty physical. And then in the training room, is it set up like what's in that space?
There is a brewery right near the front door, and then in the back room, the back half of the building, long ways, is both archery targets and markers for practice, even though Yumi only trains outside, and dummies, which are what these little things over here for, and then storage racks for spare tools, weapons, and such that you guys might want to keep at the house, all there. And then,
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll break too much of that stuff, so I'll, in addition to helping, trying to like maybe dig some land and some running, I'll try to clear away some of like the rocks that are just on the island that like, hey, no one can move this rock. Well, I'll try to go move that rock for my work, and I'll like, if it's too big, I'll move it like a few inches every day. You know what I mean?
Sisyphean task.
Yeah, exactly. If something's like beyond me, but I can move it barely a little bit, that's like longer things. But that's what Krellick would be doing during the training time, and then whatever Yumi tells him to do in training, he will also do.
Okay.
I think I would bring you breakfast and tell you need to eat so you have energy to train.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, mate.
Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you to do.
All right, look. Is it your first time training someone?
Yes.
All right. Me too. So why don't we make it like a game? So we gotta do certain things, and we gotta do them on time. So are you good with time and numbers?
I'm not bad at it. I can keep time.
Okay. Let's
He'll pull out the same pack that he has the abacus in, pull out a few of the loose paper scraps that are in there, and takes it's like just a hunk of coal that he uses to scratch on stuff, and like charcoal. And he'll start drawing the island very poorly and like beginning to map out like
maybe we start here and go here.
and he'll try to work with you to maybe formulate a little plan together.
Okay. Yop, anything special you're up to?
Say, Zashel,
Hmm?
do you think that maybe Guildmaster Tabith, do you think he could be entrusted with that gold box we found?
You know, I was actually thinking we might bring it with us. The skeletons could have been bringing it back to that island, and it's possible doing so would alleviate the curse or wrath of whatever god the guildmaster seemed to think was unhappy with the island. We know the skeletons were bringing it somewhere, although, if anything, that makes me less likely to want to bring it there.
Yes, I mean, I'd be more than happy to get rid of this trident, but I don't know that delivering it to the very place where the skeletons wanted to bring it makes much sense.
True, but they could have simply been returning something that was stolen. I mean, maybe it was there to begin with. It was taken off by pirates or privateers who then opened it, died to it, and as we saw with the crew of our vessel previously, of the Soul of Winter, they simply were trying to return it. I can't imagine how the god would have placed that trident in the box if he had owned neither trident nor box to begin with. Do you understand my meaning?
I do. That's an excellent theory. I guess there's no harm in bringing them both with us, and making a decision once we're there.
Just make sure we don't open the...
Oh no.
Although I suppose at some point we'll have to open it to put that thing back in it, if you are willing to do that.
Oh yes, I am quite done with this trident.
We should make sure to do that away from everyone else, though.
Yes, I do seem to recall that people closing their eyes seem to be sufficient, but seems there's a lot of curious sorts around, so the less people the better.
you think they'll be training long? Maybe we should run into town while they are busy.
That's a wonderful idea. We'll stop outside, let them know we're going to town, and they can decide whether they would like to continue to train or join us.
You see, Krellick's got Yumi on his back on the top of his shell, and he's jogging with her. Live to win!
I'm not sure I agree to this. Could you please put me down?
Geese are trailing you like in Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Yumi. I just thought I needed the extra weight.
I'll put you down.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna be sick now.
See, this is why you don't eat before you work out.
I'm fine with running. Being jostled on your back is not comfortable in the least.
Will you two be much longer, or should we run into town and do errands while you are training? And then come
I
back
will
and get
go
you?
into town. Yumi will run away from Krellick.
Sheds tear.
My trainer's gone.
Okay.
Are you gonna leave from town, or are you coming back here?
I will check with our cartographer on where this island is, so I have an idea if we need to go, like what the best route is.
You can also talk with the major because he said they mentioned that he's been out there.
Oh, right. Then, since the cartographer is otherwise occupied, we will talk to the major.
He nods to you. He's not yet gone back upstairs. He's drinking some coffee down in the lobby.
Major, you have said you know where this island is. If we have a map somewhere, here we go. Can you give me a sense of where exactly we're headed? I know Guildmaster Tabith said it should take, he said what, 2 hours? No, 8 hours.
Yeah.
I know it's less than a day of sailing for the Turtle Shell, but I realize I have no idea exactly where we are sailing.
He looks at the map and then points to a spot. It's a ways off. Hold on. Here you go. Out west. Not much farther out than your encounter at the Dunwater River. And says it's tricky out. The water's deep, darker, and also there is only one safe approach. The island is sheer cliff all around except at the beach, and the minute you step to land, you are known to be.
We are what?
You are known to be there.
Interesting. In your experience, is there some guiding force to these creatures, or do they simply...
He shrugs and says, every attempt we to get any farther inland has been impeded.
I see. Well, hopefully we can find some way. Hopefully we can find some way past them, or perhaps over them. We'll see what the Toro Shell can do.
Well,
Thank you. That will.
well, the monks out there, they certainly at some point made it through. Don't know where the skeletons are per se coming from, but if they've made it past once, even
I
once,
I see. I misunderstood. I was unaware these creatures were there before the monks even arrived. I was under the impression they were part of this sea god's curse the guildmaster mentioned.
perhaps they are. I don't know much about it. I have not, again, made it to the Abbey myself.
Would you happen to know how long ago this abbey was founded? How long has it been there?
He thinks and says, better part of 20 years at least. Maybe more. Not that they ever sailed back. The Abbey was founded and not really heard anything from since.
That's more than unusual.
Not particularly. From what I understand, most monks, when they found such a location, the idea is to stay isolated, isn't it?
Frankly, honestly, I would not know. I've never really dealt with monks.
Well, you're unlikely to now. Don't think any of them survived the past season.
Well, hopefully we'll find out. Thank you. Now, where are we on this map? I'm sorry.
Doo-doo.
We're outside of Saltmarsh, right?
Yep, just barely.
Okay. So it's technically the wrong way to go into Saltmarsh, but it's not a
Yeah.
huge trip.
Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta get rations and all that.
Well, more it means if Krellick wants to keep training, we can come back by and grab him.
Oh god, I can hear that.
Can you hear it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The thunder's good out there tonight.
Yeah.
I wish I could be on my our little like balcony deck. It's fun to watch like the storms. Our condo's like up against a lot of trees, and they like just get whipped around in a storm. You know. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I don't have any money, so there's nothing I need in town. So just come get me.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of this.
Storm's coming.
We
What
will
was-
swing back by.
What were you saying, Yop?
I gotta get rid of this trident. Just because I heard the thunder.
That was wonderful.
Okay. So a few of you are going to town. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Right, folks. What do you want to do in town?
I'd like to go check on Anders.
Yes, I have something for Anders, and I need to swing by another place. Monkey, Monkey, Yumi, do you have errands you specifically need to run while we're here?
No, I mean, I could pick up some more arrows, but I was hoping to see what uh everyone at the council hall is up to. I
Sounds like
mean,
we start there then.
Okay. All right. Council hall. It's a little still early, but you guys still catch everyone coming in. Go right to Anders, and he's very excited to see you all. It's been about half a week at least since he's seen you. Hey everyone. It's how was Burl and the festival? How was everything? Did you have a good time?
Burl was certainly interesting. The festival was, I don't know, I thought it was quaint, and he sort of looks at Yop and Yumi.
I very much enjoyed meeting Wanderroot.
Oh yeah. It's cool stuff, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's good. It's good to see you all. Has everything been all right? How's business?
It's all right. We have another. Oh, I have something for you, by the way. And I will pull out the letter that Kiara gave me to give him.
He takes it and turns it over and smiles, and then stows it into his shirt pocket. Thanks. Thank you again for delivering that for me. That was really nice of you. Good, nice of you to take the time to do that for me. Thank you.
No trouble at all.
How have things been here, Anders?
Fine. Fine. Yeah. Quiet. Actually, I mean, much quieter now. Yeah, haven't seen, I guess you wouldn't have heard. Manistrod's been out of the office for a few days. And she and Ed have been fighting, like, because she's not here. It's been like much like quieter. Actually, now that she's not been really around, it's kind of nice actually. Not to say that it's not nice to have her around, but it's also nice because it's different. It's quiet, nice.
I'm
What,
sorry. What were they fighting about?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're always at each other's throats. They have I mean, Manistrad thinks Edda's an idiot, and Edda kind of thinks that Manistrad's an idiot. They get along like socially just fine, but like whenever they get whenever we're talking like work stuff, like we're supposed to do, it gets nasty sometimes, like real bad.
For example, like what kind of things do they fight over? Like, do they just have different approaches at doing things?
I was
Uh,
going to say they've been working together for long enough. What
uh,
precipitated this particular break from professionalism?
oh, I think it had to do with Manny was saying something about the mines. So like they're still mines, but they've been like occasionally every once in a while they find like veins of silver, and that's great for the kingdom, but also like there's like whole thing with their contract where they get a percentage of some of the silver ore that they can find. It's really it's beneficial for them. It's good for the kingdom. But recently she was saying something about like possibly like a gold vein, and so like she's been like out at the mines more often, and Edda's been like kind of upset with like what she considers the lack of professionalism, and Manistrad's been saying, well, this is my primary job is to be working out in the mines and helping her people. It's getting a little like it's just the kind of a difference of opinion as far as what they're supposed to be, spending their time doing, and ultimately it just kind of wastes everybody's time because there's like there has been a lot of fighting about it. There's just less fighting about it now. Like I said, it's all right that it's not been as bad as usual.
Uh-huh. Yup, you seem to be on better terms with Copperlocks than the rest of us from our 1 or 2 interactions with her. Is that something?
Well, I certainly owe her a visit and would love to catch up, including on details of whatever workplace disagreements might be going on.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt for sure. I mean, I hope it wouldn't hurt. I mean, it might. I don't think it would.
Oh no, I'm an excellent listener.
Well, yeah. I mean, she might be in today. I mean, she might be skipping again. I don't really know. She might. If you are gonna go talk to her though, I'm gonna go to work then. Just in case.
Well, it
Did
was
you?
wonderful to see you again, Anders.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm glad you guys all made it back safe and had fun. Okay. And now,
Let me know if you need any other correspondence delivered. Happy to help.
right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ashel. Yeah.
If you need something more immediate, Kiara has agreed to serve as an intermediary between benefactor that I work for outside of Acquisitions Incorporated. So just let me know. It will mean that your message goes through a third party, so keep that in mind.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know exactly what you just meant by all of that. But thank you, I guess.
Just, keep it in mind if you need anything delivered, any messages.
Yeah.
On short timetable. Otherwise, paper letters will still suffice.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thanks. Okay. Who else do you guys want to talk to?
I will stop by Manistrad's office and knock and see if she's in.
There is no answer, and it does not appear that she has showed up this morning.
Fair enough.
You may look to Astral and say, do you think we should tell them about the things that was found and what we had to do because of the things that was found?
If there was anyone we should tell, it should probably be either Ida or Eleander. They seem to be the ones who have the least patience for Gellen's sort of side ventures, if you understand.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it, we may find little support on this since the town seems to benefit as a whole, and that seems to have prompted much of what should be law enforcement to turn the other way.
I mean,
But it's definitely worth, at the very least, posing to at least one of the two.
I believe Eleander is probably the better bet. He seems more like the type that works with, I guess, the soldiers and weapons. And whatnot, and wasn't very happy to find there were smugglers in Saltmarsh stealing from the military, so.
Sounds reasonable to me. I think it also might be worth a I don't want to say break in, but a reconnaissance into. Yop, you said you found a way to get into. You know what? Let's not discuss this here. We're still in the guild hall. Or the council hall.
Yes, that is why I did not say any specific names or what.
Yep. A little distracted. I apologize. We should go. Does anybody have any business with any of the other council members?
Nope.
Okay.
If no one has any other tasks to do in town, I still have one stop I need to make. You are welcome to join me if you would like.
I'm sure it's a lovely day for a walk.
All right. And I think I know where you're headed, but where are you headed?
I am
Yeah.
headed to Lyra.
Okay. Down the.
Said I would. Also,
Yep.
I need to set up this whole thing. Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. You walk up the road and around the bend to the little cottage. And Punketta opens the door for you. And she says, "Oh, all right, yeah, okay, hey." And then she shouts into the house, "He made it back. He's alive." and opens the door for you all to come inside. And she eyes Yop and Yumi, kind of Yumi warily. And then Liru comes down the stairs. "Oh, hi. Good morning. Morning. I'm so glad that I'm so glad you made it. I assume then everything was all right. It felt a little. You were a little hard to reach for a while there."
Yeah, we had to. We were in the Fae, so I'm assuming that made things a little more difficult. But an tentative agreement has been reached with the elves of the Silver Strand. I have made an agreement with Kiara to serve as intermediary, since they do not sleep, so that would make certain communications difficult. But they should be willing to negotiate an entrance into the Covenant.
She claps her hands excitedly and says, "Great work, Zashel. Thank you so much. I'm so proud. Thank you."
I would have made the same offer to the Eladrin, however, they would have been nearly impossible to reach, and other considerations meant that soured somewhat. So I'm afraid I was not able to get their assistance. They will be stuck in the Fae for several months anyway, so perhaps when they return, I can make another trip.
She begins to lightly pace, and one of her hands goes to her chin as she's thinking, and she says, "I wonder if they would be required to enter into a contract, seeing as they're not here, but they're here sometimes. I wonder if it's necessary, even. I don't know that it's unnecessary. Interesting. I shall have to think about that. Seeing as we have 6 months' time, anyway. At least, hopefully, maybe."
Satchel's eyes kind of narrow. 6 months.
Well, 6 months until they would be returning.
Ah, yes, yes.
I mean, I would hope that we have more than 6 months. Otherwise, I think we'd all be in a little trouble. Is there, any other things you need to tell me or talk about or show me? Do you need to show me anything?
Don't think so. We have accepted a contract. We will be out to... I've already forgotten the name of the island because I, of all things, did not write that name down.
I think it's just Abbey Island.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't write it down. because there are some... Hmm?
Maybe you should show her this. And Yop will hand Zashel the trident.
Her eyes widen. She tilts her head to one side.
We found it being carried by skeletons to some unknown place in a golden... What would you say? Arc box? Something like that. Which we also still have. You wouldn't be familiar with it by any chance? I know it's sort of weird thing, but
She puts her hands out for it.
okay.
She holds it and sets it on the the butt of the staff against the ground and turns it and inspects it, and she says, "Don't know that I know what this is, but I could ask."
Ask who?
I mean, I can identify it if that's what you need.
Well, I can see there is energy off of this. It radiates and feels like a connection to something. I'd have to ask some friends if they knew what it connected to. Unfortunately, I don't know much beyond that. I'm sorry.
Not that I am ungrateful, but we had planned to leave soon and considered whether we needed to return this to said temple, or to said abbey, rather. Is that something that would take a while, or?
I feel it might be a day or two before I would have some response.
I don't think we have that time.
Very well. It's. I don't have to if you feel capable of handling it yourself.
I just mean where we're going, we've made a contract. I don't think we should take so long to accomplish it.
Yes,
That
and
is
we'll
a-
either be returning it or not, and if we return it, then we don't really need to know, and if we don't return it, then we may come back and ask if you could ask your friends at that point.
Ah, well, I suppose I could go now, but it still again might be a few hours at best.
Could help us determine whether we should even be taking this thing to that island.
I think we can delay for an hour or two.
All right, I can. All right, it'll be a little while. And she goes over to you, Zashel. She gives you a hug and then walks outside and closes the door behind her.
Do you? Is this something I can assist with?
Oh no, I'll be gone for a while. And then goes to shut the door.
Okay.
Well, what should we do now?
Yumi, why don't you show us your favorite place to have lunch?
Um, Honestly, I just go to the market and buy some bread and cheese.
Well, to the market then.
But wait, when are we gonna talk to Leander about the thing?
Why don't we just do that now? Or after lunch, either way.
Alright. Yumi will show them her favorite cart to buy bread and cheese from.
Okay.
Zashel is not happy about this.
The food?
No, not the food. The food's fine.
Sorry, I mean,
He doesn't like his patron going off with a cursed trident.
I didn't, have a lot of money before joining Acquisitions Incorporated, and this was cheap and not bad.
Well, I'm sure it will be delicious. Were you not employed before joining Acquisitions Inc.?
I was working part-time,
Oh, with who?
just like how we do with acquisitions, just contracts when I can find them.
I see.
What led you into that sort of occupation? I mean, I realize there's not much here in Saltmarsh that isn't mining or fishing, I suppose. But what led you to bounty hunting?
Well, I wasn't very good on a boat. I get seasick quite easily, and mining's, I don't quite have the talent for that like the dwarves do. Yeah. And then she just stuffs bread in her mouth to avoid talking about this any further.
Taking the hint, Yop will suggest that we go talk to Eleander.
Okay. Yeah, you can all go back to the council hall and go and speak to Eleander. He's as casually pleased to see you as usual. Sorry, there's someone playing with fireworks outside, apparently. Stupid Pioneer Day. Okay, anyway, hello, everyone, and I heard you were out in Burl for the festival.
For work, but the festival was going on while we were there, so we did get to sample it, yes.
Ah, I see. And how did that go?
Well enough, I suppose. It did raise a certain issue which we would like to discuss with you. While we were there, we had reason to deal with the Princess Chandria and the Eladrin of Astrazalian. And it occurred to us there, and they were aware, that certain items from their armory had been found here in Saltmarsh in the possession of a private individual whose name shall go unspoken as yet. They were quite insistent that payment be made, which was provided by us as service.
Oh, and just to be clear, the materials were illegally acquired by someone in Saltmarsh.
Hmm. And,
We have no substantive proof that they were acquired by that individual with full knowledge that they were illegal, as I recall. For all, they could have been presented to him as legally acquired. I frankly doubt that's the case, but I want to be clear that we don't have any, even with the word of the intermediary smuggler, we do not have substantive proof that the individual here in Saltmarsh knew that they were stolen.
I see. And do you have any way of proving whether or not they know these goods were stolen?
We know that the Eladrin intermediary had done repeated business with them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yumi, Yop. I don't believe we were ever given anything definitive that the person here in Saltmarsh was the one initiating the purchases.
Unfortunately, we were not able to gather that information.
I see. I think I know who it is you're referring to, but I also understand why you're choosing to not mention any names. there is little cause for me to not believe. I understand what you are trying to do by avoiding saying any names, but why don't you come out and say it?
I'm sorry, we're at his estate, right?
No, not right now. You're at the council hall.
Perhaps we could write it down and then burn the paper afterwards? And she kind of looks at Zashel.
Yop will do a little fiddling with her tools, and on his desk, the name Gallon Prime Water appears.
Like, scratched into it, or
No, it's like my magic tinkering.
right? It's like, what kind of effect are we? What kind of effect are we talking about?
It looks as if someone had used like a wood burning pen.
Okay. Okay, well, this is perhaps I have paper right here, but I suppose this is fine. And he grabs a piece of paper and sets it on top of the mark on the
And I dismiss the effect.
Okay. All right. And you don't necessarily have proof. Do you have evidence at all that he is in fact even the fence for these items?
We've seen the items in this individual's possession. And we
Right.
have the... Did we ever get the testimony of Stolen Branch on the Whisper
Yeah,
Jar?
Stolen Branch said that he works. Did he say that he worked with Prime Water? Or did he
Stolen-
just say
He did to Krellick, but I don't think he got it on the Whisper Jar.
Correct.
It was my excellent negotiation skills.
hell yeah?
That did not get recorded, Rip.
But I thought something was said at his, like... When we were in front of Chandria, something was said. What did she say? Shit.
I can't remember, but I know Yumi asked about why we had to pay for Prime Water's crimes. But
Well, wasn't it kind of like, because like she's all high status, right? And it's like you're like
well, she told us
your
it's 'cause
people were
we're-
in the wrong, and you gotta square it up.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it didn't confirm that. Oh yeah, definitely Prime Water. It's just I think that's the
Yeah.
only thing that got mentioned.
Yeah. She wasn't doing that. I think it was more of like your people gotta make this right, you know.
I will be honest. I am compelled to assist you as I can. However, Gellin and I stand on opposite sides of a citywide schism. Me attacking his character does not bode well for me or the people who work under me. I need substantial evidence that could possibly lead to some sort of arrest and perhaps a removal from office. This is not something I can do without either help or endangering my own position.
Well, if we were to investigate and brought back proof, there is something you could do with that, correct?
If you had proof that Gellin Prime Water had been smuggling weapons from Fae for any reason, I might have some form of case. Do you know where these weapons were going after he had them?
Not yet. We do not. We were just more curious if other council members were involved and approved of it before we tried to look further into it and get in trouble with everyone here.
If he is purchasing these items for his own amusement, that is unfortunately not lawful. Not illegal, I should say. Sorry. Not illegal to just own them. It could prove problematic to him if there were some way to prove that his hobby is influenced by his position, or his position is influenced by his hobby.
At the very least, we can say definitively that his hobby, as you put it, presented a danger to Saltmarsh itself. The Princess Chandria was exceedingly unhappy with not us specifically and not anyone here specifically, but with the idea that her property had been brought to Saltmarsh. If we had not interceded to square the debt, I've no doubt that when Astrasalian returned in a few months' time, that she would have considered marching those forces here.
Very well.
I think she said as much, didn't she?
I don't think she said so specifically, but that's not a bad assumption to be making. And he says, this is something I can report, so long as there also exists concrete evidence that this is Prime Water's fault.
I believe we might be able to that may be something we could get for you. He may not yet be aware, and actually he has no real solid reason to be aware that his intermediary is no longer serviceable. As we have a contact with Inburl, it is possible we could pose as, well, offer to be a new purveyor of such goods for him. If he is willing to take the offer, then perhaps we can get more concrete evidence directly from him.
Eleander nods and says, this could be a tremendous assistance to the crown, to myself. I would be willing to personally fund this expedition.
We can discuss this more when we return from our current contract, and when we have the remaining members of our team, but I think that this is worth discussing further. Yumi, Yop, any thoughts?
That sounds like a wonderful course of action.
Yeah, I think it's something we need to think over more on how exactly we want to approach and offer such a contract. A fake one, I mean. And if we were to use our actual name or something else. But we will think about it on our journey to our current job and we'll get back to you.
He nods.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Abbey Island, would you?
Shakes his head. I'm unfortunately still. I'm not what they call a salt marsh native.
Perhaps Edda then.
If anyone knows anything about the Azure Sea here, it is Ed.
Should we go see Edda? We still have to wait for your friend to do the thing.
We're here in the council hall, so don't see why not. Thank you, Eleander. We will be in touch.
Okay. You go to find Edda. Afternoon, everyone. Did you get back recently then?
Last night.
Congratulations, safe journey. How are y'all?
Well enough.
Could
It's
be
nice
better.
to be back.
All right. Some varying reviews. What can I help you with?
We would like any information you might have on Abbey Island. We have been contracted by the Mariners Guildmaster Tabith to try to clear the island for a lighthouse, I believe he wants to build. And also to try to figure out what happened to the monks within the abbey.
Oh, right. That's right. I'm familiar with the island. I've not been out there. It's what I'd consider more difficult waters. Not a lot of good fishing out there. What sort of questions you have What sort of questions you have for me about it?
The abbey itself, the guildmaster was unsure. He thought it might be too pro-con.
Yes. It's very common, particularly out in such dangerous waters such as the Azure Sea, to take time to dedicate prayer, offerings, all that for what most find the most foul and tempestuous spirit of the water.
And are you familiar with how it was overrun by undead monstrosities? Or I know you said you've never been there, but
Oh, that's what I understand. That's a sailor's rumor, but as all rumors of the sea go, you take every single one of them as if they were truth for your own safety.
we spoke to the major who confirmed, in fact, that there are all kinds of things on the beach which present a threat. So, I suppose at the very least that one is true.
I'll
So
be
you've
damned.
never been out there then? Okay.
No, unfortunately not. It sounds like the Major might have the best idea of what you might be facing out at anyone.
Yeah, we spoke to him earlier. All right, well.
All
I
right.
suppose that is it then. Unless Yumi, Yop, you can think of anything.
Anything interesting happen in town while we were gone?
I wouldn't say interesting, necessarily. Why?
No, we were just curious if there's hasn't been any more problems with someone being threatened anymore, correct? Right?
He's been making it to work every single day. He seems fine.
All right. I guess I was just worried about that, but I don't think there's anything else.
I've been keeping a close eye. He's fine. The, Crabber's Grove has been quiet. No one else has been going around poking down in a Zolak's prison. And as far as I've been able to track with Tom and Will, no one has been returning to that household either. Whatever you all did and whatever they're doing out there seems to have permanently scared off anyone who may have been hiding out in that house.
Good. Let's hope it stays that quiet.
Right, folks, what next? Actually, we'll take our 10 first. We'll take our 10 real quick, and then you guys can decide what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, you guys have talked to half the council, and have made a couple of purchases in town. Is there anything you'd like to do to spend a couple of hours before Liru theoretically gets back?
I'm all good.
Okay.
I cannot think of anything.
Okay. Then she. So, what exactly are you doing? Are you staying in town? Or are you going back to the lighthouse? What are you doing?
I think we'll stay in town.
Okay. And do what?
Yeah.
I just need to know where you guys are.
I think I'll just sit and people watch in the market or something while we wait.
Sure. Then.
Oh, unless we want to go catch crabs.
We could go see the stock at Zendros's. I know she was just at the lighthouse, but she may have things that were at her shop.
Oh, wait. Didn't you guys get a stick from a tree for someone who made you that lamp?
Oh my god, good call. Holy crap. The Carpenters Guild. Near Crabber's Grove, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. It's Jalar.
You want to see
Yeah,
if
let's
she's
go.
interested?
Yeah, and wood from a corrupted Trant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you go to the Carpenters Guild Hall. Again, a finely decorated, very old, weather-worn building that is crafted from what looks like an upturned boat. And
I had crab salad for dinner tonight. I, as a human being. So, it's not at all bad that you want to make crab salad with the alchemy jug tomato.
And you wander through the few people who are here, and you find the little, I believe I said she was a red-headed gnome woman, with a big ol', face covering mask and goggles. That's it. And says, "Oh hey, haven't seen you guys in a while. You happen to find anything interesting for me? I know we've talked about that in the past. Any lightning strikes you happen to witness? Anything interesting?
I think we've got something better than a lightning strike.
Her eyes
And
go wide.
Yop will pet Betty on the top of the head, and she'll open her mouth, and I will reach in and pull out our treant branches.
Ooh. She sets them out and looks at all of them and begins sniffing them. She says, "Oh, these are very, very rotted. How long have you had these?"
Only a couple of days.
She takes some tools, what's it called? Like a very fine knife, and cuts into it. The insides of these are black, and as soon as like they are cracked and opened, you see little little clouds of spores just puffing out and then settling down against the wood. Well, this is very interesting. I'm very intrigued on how you came across these. If you've only had them a couple of days, what's happened to them?
They were like that long before we encountered them.
Well, where did these come from then?
Well, it was a big, living, corrupted tree. And we made it
In the Feywild.
We made it a big, dead, corrupted tree.
All right. She continues examining each piece for like its structure, its how dry it is, and says, "Okay, I think I could make something interesting of these, although they're very delicate. What with this rot inside of them, very interesting. I could give 130 for all of them."
Your call, Yop.
I mean, they're not mine, but is it weird that I want to see what she can make out of it?
I'm eager myself.
No, it's not weird at all.
Like, I'm more curious of the final product than. But yeah, this is yours, obviously.
Well, 130 does sound nice, but I was hoping for something perhaps a little more esoteric. Perhaps a trade?
Let me see what I've got that I would think I could value at this. She sets down a branch.
Oh, well, I don't think you have to go looking around the shop at all. I was really more interested in perhaps trading it for some information.
She stops and she turns back to you and says, and with kind of a slightly annoyed expression says, "What do you think that I know?"
Well, as my friend said, we got this in the Fae, and while we were in the Fae, we learned certain things about certain connections to people here in town and trade that was going on, and we're just assuming those responsibilities. And so I thought perhaps you might have some information regarding that you could share with us.
don't know that I know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, forgive me. Perhaps I've been misinformed.
Now, do you want cash for these, or
Yop,
How
are
about-
you
What's that, Dasher?
are you fully convinced that something might be, shall we say, learnable here?
Oh, no, maybe she's just much lower on the totem pole than I thought. It's fine.
But there might still be something then.
Oh, perhaps.
I don't mean to be rude, Jalar, I believe. But this wood was certainly hard to come by, and while the offer you have made is tempting, I think it's much cheaper for you and easier for everyone. I'd simply suggest you answer my friend's questions as best you can. Doesn't matter. She's gonna save because I have never gotten this to work. But one day it's gonna be great.
What's your DC?
It's only 15.
she failed?
Yes.
And I love this spell because it's the one of the few enchantment spells where they completely rationalize everything that they do.
Okay, so your question again, so I can hear the phrasing. If you need to rephrase the question, that's fine. but-
Yeah, because it was tricky. There wasn't really much of a question. There was...
Yeah.
An implication.
Right. Excuse me. Let's go with tell us what you know about the Scarlet Brotherhood's involvement with any smuggling of weapons or receipt of weapons from the Fae. Or movement of weapons from the Fae.
Okay. She looks. Her eyes cloud over, but she is still looking at all of you. If it weren't for just a vague divergence in her focus, you wouldn't suspect that anything is wrong. And she says, "I don't think that we're looking for anything from the Fae. If we are, I've not heard about it." That doesn't seem to be within interest.
So if Gellin is receiving these items or requesting them, they're for his own personal use.
Yeah.
Or I think Tedna is Ashel. Ashel's
Right.
not dumb enough to use Gellin's name right now. Perhaps she might have a few more names or some idea of what they're up to.
Is that what you're asking?
I can't ask because I realized my suggestion was to answer my friend's questions, so
Yes.
I can't ask.
I'll ask that.
Okay. The names she lists are names from your list.
Okay. I'll ask if she's. What do you know about Zolek?
Rumors from the city, vampire thing from a long time ago. She doesn't give you any
Right.
information. It doesn't
About-
sound like.
Who's the leadership of the Scarlet Brotherhood?
The organization isn't a hierarchy where you know beyond your level.
So you would know who your boss is,
She nods.
and who is that?
Wave chaser.
Oh. Could you ask her about Anders and if there's any involvement? You know, just in case.
Sure, I'll ask that.
Anders is a patsy and doesn't know anything.
Are you aware if you or Scarin or anyone else in the Brotherhood had anything to do with his mother's death?
No.
I'm going to assume that's no, they don't know, not. Since that was 2 questions.
Is that a correct assumption?
Petra Solmner died of consumption. It was a setback.
Was she involved?
A setback? How was it a setback?
It takes time to gain trust. Petra had trust. Anders then had to build trust.
If we leave this wood with you, what do you think you'd make with it?
I don't know yet. It's too delicate right now. It needs treatment and practice before I could work with it properly. It might also be too damaged and potentially dangerous to work with.
What's the next task you have to undertake for the Brotherhood?
Telling them what I have told you.
Well, this is awkward.
So, now what? You asked her not to tell them? Is that possible?
Well,
It's a little
the
late.
good... The good news is you haven't told us anything we don't already know, as Scarin Wave Chaser knows.
Although, to be honest, they might kill you anyway if you do tell them, so that's on you.
Yes, if you want to get yourself killed over information that Scarin already knew we had, that's your business, I guess.
Thank you for telling me that.
Well, we have quite a friendship brewing here. Why don't we leave this wood with you, and you'll give us right of first refusal on whatever you make with it?
Fine.
Yumi, Zashel, anything else you'd like to ask or add?
I think I'm good.
No.
Well, you have a lovely day.
Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Zashel, could you make me a wisdom saving throw?
I can roll one. I don't know about make one.
Okay.
Like I said, grand total of 6. I have 3 inspiration. Do I burn one?
I wouldn't. You'll be glad you didn't. I know that's stupid, but you'll be glad you didn't.
Hold on to them then for the next time I have another string of 1s during a persuasion roll.
You leave the guild hall and continue and walk close. You walk further into town since it's clear out on the eastern end. And
Before we go back into town, Yop, we're here by this temple of Procon. Have you shown them the trident yet?
I haven't, but since Liru has it right now, I guess we'll have to wait.
Oh, right. Good point.
oh, you won't have to wait for long.
Oh, hello.
Hi. She was just she is behind you.
Welcome back.
Sorry, that was took longer than I thought it would and was a more challenging flight than I expected. As I understand this, it is a open channel for the god it was created by, Procon.
Oh dear.
Yes, it is used for those who have become attached to it and form a bond with it. He can use those who have connected with it thusly to puppet them as he wishes under certain circumstances when they become weak or perhaps even when they exercise a very powerful feat of strength or might with the trident.
Oh dear.
Yes, it's particularly dangerous for those who are not aware of what it is capable of.
Well, any word on how we can get rid of it safely?
Well, I don't think you can get rid of it unless you were to just remove it from your presence. And even then, that might prove challenging. Although you managed to give it to me all right. Though I understand I am a special case. And she goes to hand it back to you.
Okay. Take the trident reluctantly.
I don't know that I understand why it is you have it.
We found it in one of our previous excursions.
it proved very helpful in a fight we had underwater, and I grew quite attached to it rather quickly, and now I'm starting to understand why.
Yes, it is it is designed to be liked, and I think it likes having someone to wield it. Certainly, Prokan likes having someone wielding it.
And this bond can be broken.
Perhaps. I would assume it could be. Not something that I am capable of. Well, no, I don't think so. Oh,
Hmm.
I could, actually.
I have some of that ability, but not prepared today.
Well, would you like it removed?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
All right, no problem. All right. Here, hand it to me.
Here you go.
Yop, is there, if this is simply a curse? Yes? No? He's looking at Liru.
I suppose that is a way of phrasing it. It's an attachment that's complicated and mostly parasitic. Do you want it removed, Yop?
Oh, yes, quite a bit, please. Thank you.
Right, she goes to take the trident from you,
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
and you can't let go.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Okay, just let it go again.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it seems to be stuck. And Yop is actively, with her palms open, trying to drop it to the ground, and it's not going anywhere.
Right. Could you make me a charisma saving throw? Oh, you feel that roiling force that often clouds your vision in those moments where you have found yourself knocked unconscious begin to swell within you, but you're able to hold it back, and then it releases from your hand.
Okay. Well, that was frightening.
And then she puts a hand to your chest, and it glows and burns, and you feel that swell, that again, that force within you, like shrivel and shriek, and it hurts a lot, and then it feels like it just collapses in on itself and withers and is gone.
I don't feel so good. I mean, I guess I'll feel better, but I don't feel so good right now.
No, I don't think you would.
Thank you, though. That's very helpful. What do y'all suppose we do with it now? We can't just leave it lying here.
Put it back in the box.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay,
Yes.
just pick it up and carry it back, and we'll put it back in the box.
I can carry it magically so that no one has to touch it.
Ah, excellent.
Okay. I think I'll be going home now, unless...
Are you okay?
Of course. Of course. No trouble. If you need to do that again, tomorrow I'll be able to.
I'll try to take care of it if we do. Thank you, though. a scroll should have been delivered for Punketta. She can easily deliver messages if she gets it. Please let me know if anything is needed.
She nods. All right, I'll be seeing you later. And she
Yes.
starts walking down the street.
I will pick up the trident with Mage Hand. Although I don't know how heavy a trident is, maybe I can.
Is it 10 pounds or 5 pounds limit?
Uh, 10 pounds.
10 pounds? You should be fine then. Okay, you guys head back to the lighthouse?
Yovers.
Yep. I don't think there's anything else we need in town.
Okay,
How much is Krellick destroyed in the half a day?
yeah. Yeah, what's Krellick been up to all day?
Well, he finished his training for a bit, got all of his stuff together, and sat outside the lighthouse for about an hour, and nobody came back yet. So then he left all of his stuff at the lighthouse, like at the door, and he got what are the two dudes, the two little dudes that bought the guns, right? They're like two.
Toby and Micah.
Right, they're like two little scoundrels or something. I mean, I know they're not children, but like they feel like the little scoundrels.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't they be with us? Because we had to get back into town.
Oh, they do your boat stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're here for a
Still got Sunny and Missy though.
And Abernathy in the arrow through his head.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd have next to the training area. I've moved more rocks over in that area. There are like nets attached over top, like over two large boulders, and then a bunch of rope. And I've been using it to like pull and walk. So there's like huge drag marks in the ground. Then Krellick has a seat, sits like I'm imagining on this like lighthouse island. There's like some kind of overhang or outcrop or something, like some kind of rocky edge to the thing. And he'll sit down there, and it comes in on he's sitting there, and he has a little crab in his hand that he's cast speak with animals with, and it comes in on him, and he's like,
Yeah, so that's when he ripped his arm off and then beat him to death with it. It was amazing. Yeah, my dad was pretty cool, if I say so. Well, Barry, I won't be able to speak to you again for a little while. So, it's been nice sharing the afternoon with you.
I toss him in my mouth and eat him.
Nice.
You hear behind you, oh God!
I turn, some of the legs are like hanging out, and I suck them in.
Sunny is just carrying some wood from the yard to the house. Just happened to see you. Are you
Hi,
okay?
Sonny.
Are you okay, Mr. Krellick?
Yeah?
Okay. What's all this? And he points off to the pile of rocks and stuff.
Well, I didn't want to break anything in the training room. So I've been training, right? I need to get a bit stronger, so I can punch this princess lady.
What?
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 Punch
What'd you
who?
say? What'd you say?
I want to know what you said.
What? Which part?
Who are you punching? Your
I-
little thing.
Yeah, I use my little thing to help me remember her name. Yeah.
Yeah, and the voice of Zashel saying Lady Chandria comes to you.
It's it's Lady Sandria's.
Okay.
She's
why?
like this really big elf princess lady. She's very strong.
Oh. Why do you want to punch her?
Well, she punched me, and I wasn't able to punch her, so, I need to get stronger, so that way, well, I can prove it to her I'm worth it.
Oh. And, pulling rocks helps?
Yeah. You want to pull one?
Yeah. And he drops all the lumber he's got.
Yeah, alright. You look like you could probably use a little one, so let me get you a little one.
Yeah. And he will spend time training with you. Like, that's something he's gonna want to do.
Yeah. I'll. It's like way too heavy for him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
Come on.
At a certain point, like I begin like lifting the rock still.
Oh, you're doing so good.
And he's like he's decently strong for like his size and all. I mean, he is a carpenter, but he's not like, I mean, he's not Krellick big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the turtle shell comes chugging along up to the dock, and everyone gets home as you're out in the yard, it sounds like.
Krellick, can you grab the ark? We need to put this back in it. Don't open it. Do not, under any circumstances, open it.
He doesn't know what the hell that is.
The golden box. If you could get the golden box out of the... You saw it on the ship the other day? A while ago, I guess?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Just remember, don't open it.
But a little. I'll open it a little.
No, please, just... You'll risk killing everybody in there. We can't have that. Just bring it out here, please.
It's Baby Groot and the goddamn buttons all over again.
It is.
What if we open it out here, and then there's no one to die?
Okay, tell you what. If you will carry it onto the turtle shell, we'll get everyone else off the turtle shell. If you really want to open it, it will burn the shit out of you and hopefully not kill you. But if it does, you'll turn into a skeleton and we'll have to kill you. You understand this, right?
Hey, but what are you doing with it?
That is a very long story whose short version involves we found it in the ocean and took it.
Are we throwing it back in the ocean?
No, I'm this trident that you've seen Yop with that is now floating here and is no longer attached to it. We're going to put this back in it.
Yeah, but now you just said not to open it.
Yeah, I said don't open it in the lighthouse because there are people around and it'll... Look, can you just put it on the turtle shell? Yeah.
Yep.
I go do that.
Okay, it's in Yop's room up on the top floor, and you can grab it and bring it down.
Yeah, I'll grab and bring it down. I'll grab all my stuff.
Okay, so how do you want this done, folks? Everyone is off the turtle shell. the Ark and Krellick are on the turtle shell, right?
If Krellick wants to open it, he's welcome to open it. Otherwise, my plan was to mage hand it, which I believe we did before, and it keeps me out of range.
I don't think it did.
What's the range on mage hand?
30 feet?
Which I believe is also the radius of the explosion.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, we've learned that averting your eyes sometimes helps, or somewhat helps, so...
Can
Well,
we get a
you want me
rope
to-
and just pull it open?
We can try that, yes.
I mean, I could close me eyes and lift it.
Let's try the rope first. That way we're all out of the way of the explosion.
I can't remember. Have we tried making Betty open it?
Can she? I really don't want to see what happens if Betty tries to turn into a skeleton.
But
Betty's been through quite enough, thank you.
What's the over under on that I become a skeleton?
I mean, we lost half the crew of the Soul of Winter to it, so...
I mean, was they strong or?
We're not talking about almost losing Toby and Micah. That did not happen. Them's my boys. No, I mean, most of them were just regular sailors, I guess. But, yeah, I suppose if you will take it to one end, just make sure to avert your eyes, open it up.
Yeah. Question. So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you opened it underwater? Like, does that stop it?
I do not believe we have, no. I don't know that it does or would, though. I think it's just from being opened. And I imagine it would be difficult to get back onto the turtle shell if you had opened it underwater, since it would probably fill with water.
Yeah. Alright. Look, it sound alright. So we open this and put the trident in, yeah. But you can only lift it in one thing, right?
Well, yes, but I can set the trident down, open the box, and then pick it back up with the...
I bet I live. I bet 10 gold I live.
I mean, I've lived from it, so I'm fairly certain you'll live. I just thought you might not want to get burned by radiant fire.
Who wants bets? Who wants in?
What'd you say, Monkey? One more time.
I
You're
think
all
you're-
robot.
Yeah, your internet might be lagging.
Alright, give me the trident thing. I'ma open it.
I will not... No, I need you to open the Ark. You can't touch the trident, or it will try to bond with you, which will make you not
That's
want
stupid.
to... Just open the box, please. If you would, put it on the turtle shell and open it.
Yeah, okay.
I look at the box and I grab hold of the lid and I think to myself,
I will live.
and
Remember to close your eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into a rage and then I'm gonna
Close your eyes.
close my eyes,
Ah!
but peek a
You
little
guys
bit.
are no. Yes!
It's my eyes are closed, but definitely one eye opens.
Excellent. The li- the lid is lifted. Bright, intense, burning light fires up from the base of the chest and out towards, and spilling upwards and out and burning your skin, Krellick, for a total of 32 points of radiant damage. You are raging, so that's halved. And Zashel, if you're using the mage hand and you are within range, you have to, in order to use the mage hand to get it there, you are also going to have to take the damage. Actually, I need a con save. I'm sorry, I need a con save from Krellick. You might take less damage.
I can't stand back while he opens it and then walk forward, drop it off.
If you get within range of it while it is open, you take the damage.
Oh,
But
it's while it's open. Oof.
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yep. That 13 does not save.
Yeah, I didn't think it did.
So yeah, it'll be that 16. The 15 does save, so it's 16 to Zashel as well.
Yep. I'm holding the thing. My eye opens and like it's hot. And then I open both eyes and I look at Zashel like,
This is basically nothing.
And there's a thunk as the trident hits the bottom of the box.
I'll put the lid down.
Close it.
What else is in that box? Is anything in it?
Do you keep looking?
Yeah.
It appears to be an empty white and yellow space.
I reach in.
Cool.
I reach in to feel around to see if there's anything actually in there.
Cool, make me another con save.
Yeah. It's a 9.
Beautiful. This will be an additional total of halved to 13.
13 is the half.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
But your hand moves around and you don't feel anything. In fact, the box looks from the outside smaller than the space that the trident takes up, as well as what your hand is feeling into.
Cool. Yeah, I'll then put the lid down.
Okay. Smoked turtle.
Yeah, the smoke coming off. I'll like pat a little bit of fire off.
Is that it? Are we taking this with us?
I don't think we decided.
Zashel,
Yep.
you got a little bit of on your shoulder.
Yop will run up to Zashel.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Okay, that was far more unpleasant this time.
It does have a bit of a tickle. Are we smashing skeletons now?
We should get underway, certainly. We should.
I'm sorry. I just what are we doing about the elf weapons?
We can go over that. So the information that we were able to bring to Iliander, if we can get some more definitive proof of Gellen's not just involvement, but foreknowledge that the weapons he was receiving were stolen, Iliander thinks they can potentially bring charges against him. Right now, there is no definitive proof that he was actually committing a crime beyond receipt of stolen property.
Yeah, you gotta get the dirt first, so,
Yes.
okay. Yep.
We had considered an option where we approach Gellin knowing that his source has been arrested and caught, and giving a false offer of providing to him a new source for his purchases. Obviously, that's simply the rough idea to the start. Any input is welcome. But we have the length of time it takes for us to deal with this Abbey Island situation to draft plans and formalize ideas.
Yep. Would he believe you, that, us, that, we would be selling weapons?
As far as I'm aware, there's no reason not to. Most of the work that we have done for the town of Saltmarsh and everything has been exceedingly mercenary. Everything has been done under contract. Nothing was done simply based on moral ideals or anything. So it shouldn't be hard to convince him that, especially as we have a contact within Fort Burrell, that we are in this, and he will air quote, for the money.
Yep. You could try, it's, so if you kill the head of one, if you kill the head of one gang, right, sometimes you can, overtake them, or you say, I'm the new one you deal with, right? I killed him, now you deal with me. So, we could do that and say, we took down this person, and yeah, you want the weapons, you deal with us now.
That is definitely that's pretty good. We could say that even if we didn't kill him ourselves, in case he has him being Stolen Branch. Even if we don't say we killed him, in case Gellin has another contact within the Eldrin's court, we can say that we were the ones who ended his enterprise, so to speak.
Yep, took him out.
Which is certainly true. Took him out of the game, as it were.
Took him out of the game, yeah.
Good idea.
I got a lot of them.
I'm not sure I want my name associated with that, though.
I mean, none of this is, much like our initial deal with Sanballat, none of this is...
It's not real.
Yeah, it's simply a ruse to get him to give us the information we need.
Yeah, we's lying.
I still don't want my name associated with it. I mean, you could use your names, but I don't want my name mentioned in any fake contracts you make.
I would certainly not be actually creating a contract for this, because that would simply create a headache within that office, and then there's paperwork to undo the contract, and then there's follow-up paperwork for the it's a mess. Your concern is completely noted and understood. We will make sure that if you prefer not even to be there when such a discussion goes down, again, we have plenty of time to actually finalize plans before we need to go through with any of this anyway, so.
Yeah, are we ready to go?
Krelly, could you help me drop this stuff off in my room, please? And I'm
You-
just talking about the barrels and the brewing supplies and all that stuff.
It will be my pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. And after that, you guys ready to head out, or do you want to wait until the next day?
Oh, we should head out unless Toby and Micah are too tired.
No, they're fine. They got to spend the day at home while you guys were wandering around town.
I think we should go as soon as we can.
To the high seas.
Okay. All right. Let's get you guys on a boat.
When you say hi, do you mean like the stuff Dasani had?
Yes, I mean, I'm very high right now.
Come on. Come on. It's doing the thing. It's doing the thing I was complaining about.
As we, like begin to move out, is there time for me to take a short rest?
There'll be time for a short rest on the boat.
Look at that badass boat.
Look at that
I
bad
definitely enjoy a short rest. And I can... Krellick, did the thing burn you fairly badly? I still have some healing magic if you'd like.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Alright, I'm going to, just in case then, not that it burned you at all, but just in case, a little, as a thank you.
I didn't need it, but thank you.
Like dealing with my sisters, having to airplane to medicine. That's Zach, not Ted, just to be clear.
Aw, that was not clear, and that's cute. Okay, so it is later in the day when you guys are setting out west. Yes, westward. I gotta think of the map. I have to memorize the map.
Actually, south.
Yeah, are you sure about your
Not
cardinal
joking.
directions on that map?
It's southwest is the thing. Yeah, I know I'm right. You come around the cove. It is cool, with some clouds, and there's potential for harsher weather on the way. What are you guys doing on the boat? Who's doing what on the boat?
I'm driving.
He's trying not to get seasick again.
Being out of the way.
Yop says she's driving.
Yeah, I will use I thought we had some crew on
Yeah.
the boat. Yeah.
Yes. So the bare minimum of crew necessary to pilot the turtle shell is 3 people, which you have, because Yop is proficient, you are proficient, and Toby and Micah are both proficient.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty much you, me, and I are the ones who are freeloading here.
Yeah. And because you guys have been gone and away from the turtle shell, Toby and Micah have learned how to operate the engine. So that is less of a worry. And this also means that you guys don't have to, you are not constrained by the weather, which is pretty cool. So
I'll spend some time messing with the cannon, getting familiar with I don't know if we have to operate it. I assume we do.
yes.
But I'll familiarize myself with the weaponry that we now have.
So important.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So the important thing that you would learn about the ballista is that it an ordinary ballista, which you would be familiar with, requires 3 people to operate, 1 to load, 1 to aim, 1 to fire. It is a heavy piece of machinery. This thing still is pretty heavy, but you know by fiddling with it, working with it, and examining it, this only requires 1 person manning it at a time.
Nice.
Yep. That's important. Zashel, what are you up to?
Mostly trying to stay out of the way. I will try to practice with the harpoons, I guess, so that I can be useful if something happens.
Okay.
Oh yeah, can I help him practice with the harpoons?
Practicing with them, if you're going to like load them, will that. I don't know, they're tied. They're good. Yeah, you can do that. They're anchor points, designed to, pull stuff in and all. So, yeah. And Yumi, what are you up to?
Yumi is probably sitting next to Yop, curled into a ball because she is seasick as always.
Okay. I don't know why this is a character choice you decided to make for a boat game.
It explains why I did not become a fisherman instead of a bounty hunter.
Aha! Incredible. Okay. So I would like a perception check from Yop, Zashel, and Krellick. Yep, that's it.
I was gonna say, if I'm assisting with Zashel, can I just give him the help action in this case? I can do it independently. I just thought maybe like because I'm actively trying to help him with this, and we're like looking at things that I could help him.
That would make sense, except what you're doing is not keeping watch. This is more of a, do you happen to notice something
You got it. Yep.
while doing other things?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh, this is a fine wheel. Look how nicely it's carved, Yumi. It's attached right here. Oh, the hardware is very lovely.
It does look quite nice. Hold on a second, and then she runs to edge to throw up.
All right. Yumi goes to the edge to lose her lunch, and as she does, Zashel, you catch sight of the water swelling and shifting and pushing on the boat. And you've seen waves and stuff, but this is not necessarily following the pattern of the waves. You're not even that familiar with how water works, but this looks different. And then as it hits the hull, it starts to move upward and continue to move vertically up the side of the ship. And Yumi, as you are pulling yourself back over, a massive heave, and the water comes up over you and pushes into you. And and I need you to make nope. Never mind. I will do this. Sorry, I hate that this is not always set up the way I like it. Oh, yeah, that's gonna hit. Yumi, this water comes up over you and then into you, around your shoulders, and pulls you overboard. And we are going to call it there for tonight. And we will roll initiative now, and we'll have a fight at the start of next session.
All right.
Yumi!
I trip and I fall over. That's what it looks like.
No, it looks like you are fully grabbed by the water.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, nat 20 on the initiative, 22.
Feels good, man.
Yeah,
Very
feels,
nice.
Feels good for a little Barbie. I'm sorry. Just to clarify, the question about the short rest was in the time from setting off to now. Had we been
Yeah.
able to have a short rest? Okay.
I did not realize the duration on this, but I've been sitting
You
on this
son
for a
of a
while.
bitch.
When
Yeah,
we
the
boarded,
8. Huh?
that's a full 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. So
And it's a ritual, like.
You just gotta do it every
the fact that
morning.
it will, so there's no reason to
Yeah.
ritualize it even. So,
I
in
mean, if
retrospect, I would basically do that every morning we're getting on the boat,
Okay.
or any time we're getting on the boat. Actually, let me look up the invocation, but that is something I will keep in mind for next time because
Yeah.
did
I
thought
think
it
you get
lasted
it like
like
once a long rest, right?